Welcome back to another episode of Diabetes 180 with Louis Burtis, your physician assistant and diabetes reversal health coach. Today we're covering a couple topics in one video, but mainly why medications fail. Why medications fail to reverse conditions like diabetes, but many other chronic conditions too. Right. We're also going to go into what I did to help my wife reverse her diabetes and what I will advise you to do to experience the same results and results that many clients passing through Diabetes 180 since my wife and the start of this company, right, to about 2 years ago. So you're going to get information on why medications aren't working, what to do instead, all right, in practical ways, and some motivation in seeing, how other people have done what you are trying to do. Come off medications and see diabetes reversed. And you may have other conditions and diseases, and the problem is the same for all of these. See, as a physician assistant, and if you're talking about medical doctors, nurse practitioners, when we go through medical school, when we go to nurse practitioner school or PA school, we are learning to manage symptoms. Okay, there's no other way to explain it. You don't have diabetes because you're deficient in metformin. So metformin is not going to reverse your diabetes, okay? No medication given for high blood pressure, for high cholesterol, or diabetes reverses the root causes of the disease. High blood pressure, for example, right? When I take out blood pressure medication, I'm trying to manage the symptom of your blood pressures being stiff and hard, right, through these medications. And there's so many ways and different methods, pharmaceutical interventions to manipulate the body so your blood pressure can be normalized, right? But it only lasts for so long, where the 6 hours, 12 hours, and then medication's effectiveness stops, right? And you got to take another pill. But the reality is, as soon as I address lifestyle changes, the root cause of high blood pressure goes away, right? And the damage and the risk it has on my heart goes away. Same thing with diabetes. As soon as I address the root cause of diabetes, I don't need metformin. I don't need insulin if I'm type 2 diabetic. Or if I'm type 1 diabetic, I need less insulin. So after researching for 2 years, while working as a PA, I found that it is not, again, metformin deficiency. It is not because you had too many carbs, which is what we're taught in medical school. They have too much sugar, too much carbs, which again is the symptom of diabetes. It's not the cause of diabetes, right? It is going back to the original diet that we were designed to eat. Whether you're looking at from a scientific or evolutionary standpoint, or as a Christian or creationist standpoint, they all agree on the same thing. The original design of man in the Bible, as well as if you look at history, of our development throughout time and prehistoric days, we subsisted on mainly fiber-rich plant sources for nutrition with a minimal intake of animal-based foods and foods high in fat, okay? And so I put my wife on this diet, a low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet. And after 8 years of diabetes, poorly controlled, not even well controlled, poorly controlled with medications, a slew of them. I think she tried all of them. It took 6 weeks of being on a low-fat, whole food, fiber-rich, carb-rich diet, and she was off medications completely. So that's what I urge you to do, okay? Because since then, we've coached many clients passing through the Diabetes 180 program, birthed through this experience, and they've experienced the same results: dropping medications, losing weight, getting energy, mental clarity, and strength back. All the things that this disease has robbed from them, and the side effects of these medications that they have suffered when they no longer needed them, or they could reduce their intake of medications by simply transitioning to a low-fat, whole food, plant-based diet. So what do I want you to do? I want you to start first, small, okay? With one meal a day, starting with breakfast, start to increase your consumption of whole plant-based foods. That is fruits, vegetables, whole grains like brown rice and oatmeal. And if you're worried about oatmeal, steel cut oats, okay? And legumes. You never get enough beans, all right? Foods that come from the earth are restorative. Foods that are coming from the earth have life in them and they can restore life in you. That's step number one. Increase your consumption of whole plant-based foods that are minimally processed. Step number two is very simple as well. As you increase your consumption of whole plant-based foods, guess what's going to happen? You're going to have less space for animal-based foods, that is meat, dairy, and eggs, right? So those foods that are higher in fat come from the animal kingdom. As you increase foods from the plant kingdom, you're going to naturally decrease the amount of foods you're consuming from the animal kingdom and the byproducts of animals, right? So step one, increasing plants. Step two, decreasing animal-based foods. Now, as you do that, step three is going to be very important. If you still haven't really noticed a drop in your blood sugar level, right, you maybe because you have diabetes for a very long time, you got to go to step three. And that's download the Lose It app, and start tracking your fat percentage. And I want to keep your fat percentage to no more than 15% a day. So you've gone through breakfast, lunch, and dinner meals. You've mastered breakfast. You've mastered your lunch, right? And you've mastered your dinner. You've increased your consumption of whole plant-based foods. You've eliminated your consumption of animal-based foods. Step number three is to track your fat percentage, because even plant-based foods, right? You can go hard on some peanut butter. Okay, we can go hard on some seed butters and oil, and foods that are high in fat in the plant-based kingdom make it hard to reverse the root cause of diabetes. That's insulin resistance, which is caused by too much fat in tissues not designed to store excess fat. So you want to get rid of not just animal-based fats that are rich in saturated fat, the most harmful source of fat, but also plant-based sources of fat, right? Not eliminating plant-based sources of fat, but limiting them, so that using apps like Lose It, you can keep your fat percentage to 10 to 15%. You do those three things, right? Increase your consumption of whole plant-based foods, decrease your consumption of animal foods and byproducts of animal foods like dairy and cheese, and track your fat percentage. You're going to see a drop in your need of medications, even to the point of no longer needing any at all for many of you. Okay, so that's it. I want to challenge you to try this for at least for the next 3 weeks, and let me know in the comment section as you're going through the process how it goes, right? Let us know, not just us, but let your doctor know that you're going through these changes, because he's going to need to know that your need for medication is going to be dropping for the next 3 weeks, so that when you call him and say, hey, my sugars are dropping low, can you adjust my insulin dose or my medications, my oral medications, and he'll be able to, of course, work with you in doing that. Don't do this process alone. But why should you do this? You know, we're gonna cover that in another video of how it works, the science behind it. We also, in future videos, will cover more practical tips if you're feeling stuck on knowing exactly how to put together a whole food plant-based meal, how to shop, what to buy. I will, in future videos, teach you step by step on what my wife did in transitioning from a traditional diet to a more whole food plant-based diet, and what we advise our clients to do to make this practical and make this change easy. Right, so make sure you watch out for our future videos. All right, so that's all we have for today. Beloved, I pray above all things that you may prosper and be in good health, even as your soul prospers. See you next week.